Hello everyone. Myself Mullah Sohel, and I will be taking your maths class, and I'm representing Minerva Institutes. Okay, clear? Today the topic of discussion will be limits, continuity, and differentiability. Okay, so the first topic, the first thing we see is limits. So the first question that comes in my mind is, what is the limit? How we solve for limit? So limit is basically, look at here. Suppose I say, in order to check whether a function, whether limit exists at a point or not. So what I'm saying is that let there be, let there be a point C. So suppose there is a point C and the C can be any real numbers. Okay. So I will write C element of real numbers. Okay. Now my question is, I need to check whether limit exists at that point C or not, right? So how can I check? I hope you guys have done this one before. So one thing, in order to check whether limit exists at a point, I need to find left hand limit. Now, when I write this one left hand limit, the first question clicks in your mind is that, what is that left hand limit? Okay, so left hand limit means what? It lies in the left hand side. Now, left hand side of what? Look at here, guys. Suppose I draw a number line, and when I say C is an element of real number, so it means what? C lies on the number line. So C is a point on the number line. So let us say C is that point, right? Now, look at here. If I just draw a straight line from the point C, okay? Now, since I'm saying that the function, whether the limit exists at a point C or not, so let the function be like this, and this one is denoted by fx. This is a function fx. Now we have to check whether limit exists at this point or not. So left hand limit basically means x is tending towards C. So it means what? Look at here. Suppose I say C is 5. Okay, I am saying that C is 5. Now in the left hand side of 5, what are the numbers are there? 4 is there, 3 is there, 2 is there, right? So when I'm saying left hand limit, it means what? When the value of x is approaching towards 5, when the value of x is approaching towards 5, what is the function approaching towards? That's what my left hand limit is. When the value is approaching towards C, what is the value of the function approaching towards? It's approaching towards this point, right? And that point is basically what? You see, I have drawn a vertical line from the point C to this function, right? So this function fx at this point is denoted by fc. Am I clear? So if I have to write this one, left hand limit will be given by limit x tends to, now it won't be C. Look at here, guys. It will be left hand limit, left hand side of C, it will be C minus. Okay, it will be C minus. So limit x tends to C minus f of x. Am I clear? So x is getting closer to C minus. Now C minus basically means what? It's a point which is very, very close to C. It is not equal to C. Very, very clear. Now if I say 5, so what will be 5 minus equal to? 5 minus will be equal to a number which is very, very closer to 5 but less than 5. Let me just give you an example. It will be 4.999999. I will just keep on writing like that. Okay, and that will be my 5 minus. Understood? Clear? So this one, now if I take a number very, very close to 5, so the approximate value of this one is what? It is also 5, right? The approximate value of this one is also 5. So approximate value of C minus is what? C. So directly put in place of x, C. So that becomes fc. Okay, so this is how we find left hand limit. Now let us go into right hand limit. So RHL. Now RHL is what? The value of x is approaching from right hand side. It means what? From bigger values we are coming towards 5. So in the right hand side of 5, what are there? 6, 7, 8. When x is getting closer to 5, fx is going towards what? Fx is approaching again, it's to this point, right? Yes or no? And that is also what? FC, that's the same thing. When x is approaching towards C, or the example which I showed you, that when x is approaching towards 5, fx is approaching towards f of 5. Understood? But the general way is what? When x is approaching towards C, the fx is approaching towards f of C. Am I clear? Now the right hand side will be what? What will be the right hand side? It will be C plus. And C plus means what? C plus is a number which is very, very close to C. Look, I have drawn a space in here, right? But there is no space at all. It will be like this. Even this space is also too much. If this one is C, this one will be C plus. Even they are still closer together. Understood? It's just like two pages. Am I clear? Just like two pages, you put it together, the gap between them is same as the gap between C and C plus. Now guys, tell me, what I will say an approximate value of C plus. So C plus, if C is 5, C plus will be 5.0000000000. You just keep on writing zeros. Okay? Understood? After 100 years, you just keep on writing zeros. Then at the end, when you see, okay, I'm too much tired after writing so many zeros, then you put 1 at the end. Is it equal to 5? No, it's not equal to 5. It's still something which is more than 5, right? But what is the approximate value of that thing? The approximate value of that thing is 5. Understood? Clear? So what will be the right hand limit? Right hand limit is limit x tends to C plus. Why C plus? Because x is tending towards the right hand side value, that is C plus f of x. Now, since it's going towards f of C, so the limit when x is tending towards C plus, the function fx is going towards f of C. Am I clear? So what do we see? What we learned is that we learned how to find left hand limit and right hand limit. Now what we see is that both those values are equal. And what does it mean? That both left hand limit and right hand limit are converging at one point, right? And since they are converging at one point, then what we can say? That the limit exists at the point C. Okay, so what's the condition? When a limit does exist at a point C? When LHL is equal to RHL. So we can say limit exists at x equal to C. So I have discussed the topic about limits. Now let us do a problem related to limits. And since this is a JEE advanced class, obviously you will not be expecting an easy question, right? So big, how will I do? My God, I don't want to do it. I will leave that question. Let us jump into the next question. No, just wait and try. Okay, trying is the first step to succeed. So let us try this question first. So what we have in here is fx is equal to 1 minus x in brackets 1 plus mod of 1 minus x, right? So this first you read the question, what it says. Then look at the answers, what they have given. They have said limit x tends to 1 minus fx, limit x tends to 1 minus fx, limit x tends to 1 plus fx, limit x tends to 1 plus fx. Now think in your head, just previously I discussed about left hand limit, right? And what was left hand limit? Left hand limit was limit x tends to C minus fx, right? And when you see this thing, limit x tends to 1 minus, a bulb just blinks, right? What? I have seen this one, and this one was what? This one was left hand limit, right? So they have given you left hand limit, yes or no? So let's try to find the left hand limit and check whether it's equal to 0 or it does not exist. If it's 0, this option. If it does not exist, this option. Clear? So let us find. So left hand limit of this function will be, so let me just write it. LHL is equal to limit x tends to, look at here, it won't be C minus, here the point is given 1, so it will be 1 minus fx. Now what is the function fx? The function fx is this whole thing, right? So let's write that thing in there without thinking anything, just step by step. You just follow your lead, okay, and you will get to the point, don't worry. So what do you have? 1 minus x, 1 plus 1 minus x divided by mod of 1 minus x, then cos of 1 by 1 minus x. Okay, so now we have an important concept in here. This question, now most of you are thinking, sir, previously we had c minus, right? Now the problem is easy. Let us put directly the approximate value of 1 minus. Okay, the approximate value of 1 minus is 1. So let us put in there. Then what do you see? It's not so easy, okay? You put 1 minus, you see what you get. 1 minus 1, it's what? 0. And anything divided by 0 is what? It's 0, right? Most of you are saying 0. It's undefined. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. So we cannot directly put 1 in there, right? So we have to do something. So what do we do? Now, listen very, very clearly. So we have to change this limit. So how can we change this limit? Now, let us draw the number line again. Always return to your basics, okay? Whenever you stuck at somewhere, return to your basic. So 1 minus, let us write a 0.1. We are discussing the limit at 0.1. 1 minus will be in the left hand side of 1. So this is my 1 minus. Acha, let's not go to 1 plus. Let's just discuss 1 minus. So we have, this one is our 1, right? Now, let us think the spacing between 1 minus and 1 is h. Let us say the gap between 1 minus and 1 is h, right? So now tell me, if this point 1 minus getting closer to 1, obviously look, if I see a person, if I see a student who is first, right, and I come second, what will be my main motto for my next exam? I will try to become first, right? Yes or no? So suppose he is the second student, 1 minus. So he is trying to do what? Let me become first. For the next exam, I will get better marks than him and I will come first. So 1 minus tries to get closer to 1, right? So the second student studies more to get closer to 1. And once he is getting closer and closer, this gap reduces. When 1 minus is getting closer to 1, h getting closer to 0, the gap is decreasing, right? So this limit, left hand limit, will change. When x is tending towards 1 minus, this one will become limit h tends to 0. So I change the question. 1 minus getting to 1 is same as h tends to 0. The gap is reducing. Understood? Now, can you tell me, how can I express 1 minus as in terms of 1? Look at here. I told you what this spacing is h. This one is 1. This one is 1 minus. Can I write 1 minus as 1 minus h? Because it is h less than 1, right? So 1 minus is 1 minus h, right? So what happens is that when x is tending towards 1 minus, it means what? Wherever there is x, I will write 1 minus. And wherever there is 1 minus, I will write 1 minus h. Understood? So that's what left hand limit is. So let's replace all those h. Let's kick all those x out and put 1 minus h. Let's write. So 1 minus h, 1 plus 1 minus, again 1 minus h, divided by 1 minus h, then cos of 1 divided by 1 minus h. Okay, clear? So all those x have been replaced by 1 minus h. Understood, everyone? So now to, like, everybody knows what to do. Simplify, remove those brackets. Let's do it. So what do you get? Limit h tends to 0. So here I will not do anything in here. 1 minus h. First you look at this bracket. So what do you have? So 1 plus mod of, look, 1 minus minus becomes plus h, mod, divided by here 1 minus 1 plus h, and this side we have cos of 1 divided by 1 minus 1 plus h. Understood? Now the best thing, the best task we do in maths, what is that? Cutting, right? Let's cut. This one goes out, this one goes out, this one goes out. right? So now my problem becomes what? So this problem becomes limit h tends to 0, h tends to 0. Look at here, 1 minus h. This becomes what? Bracket. Look, can anybody tell me what is mod of h is equal to? What is mod of h? Here 1 goes out, so it is mod h, right? What is mod of h is equal to? Mod of h. What is mod? Mod function, what it does, no matter what is the number, it will give out the positive number of it, right? But h is a spacing, so it's a positive value, right? So it will be h only. So mod of h will be h, right? So let us directly put 1 plus h divided by, here again mod of h, again it will be h. Now this one is what? Cos of 1 by h. Okay, I hope everyone is clear about this one. Understood? Now let's move on to our next step. So now what you see in here is how to simplify this one. A minus b, a plus b, all those basics of algebra will come out. So limit h tends to 0, 1 minus, this one becomes what? 1 square minus h square divided by h cos of 1 by h, right? So now look at here, 1 square is 1, everybody knows it. So limit h tends to 0, this is basically what? This one and this one will cancel out, and minus minus is h square by h cos of 1 by h. Now this h will cancel, so I get h. Yes, so what do you get, everyone? Limit h tends to 0, limit h tends to 0, h cos 1 by h. Can anybody tell me what is the value of this thing? I don't care what is the value of cos 1 by h. I know what is the value of h, that h is tending towards 0. So if it's tending towards 0, so in place of h, directly write 0. And 0 multiplied by anything is what? 0 only, right? Okay, so the value of left hand limit is 0. Okay, what we have in here, so we got the value of limit, left hand limit to be 0, right? Does not exist, so this option is not correct. Now this is J advanced. In J advanced, okay, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. You will get 0, okay, because there are 2 other options. So this is multiple option question, okay? So you have to wait still, and you have to check the right hand limit also. So let us check the right hand limit. So what do we have? The right hand limit, RHL is equal to limit x tends to 1 plus fx. Now what is fx? Again this one will come, limit x tends to 1 plus, so it is 1 minus x, 1 plus mod of 1 minus x divided by mod of 1 minus x cos of 1 by 1 minus x. So we have to find the right hand limit of it, right? Now listen carefully. The same concept we applied in left hand limit, let us do it for right hand limit. This one is our point 1. So 1 plus will be what? In the right hand side of 1. This is our point 1. This is our 1 plus. So, acha, 1 plus is not the mobile 1 plus, okay? You guys will be thinking that thing. It's this 1 plus. 1 plus means what? It's more than 1. A number which is more than 1 but closer to 1. More than 1 means what? You are thinking, sir, 10, 20. They're also more than 1. No, it's more than 1 but very, very close to 1. So let me just give you an example. It is like 1.0000000000001. This is 1 plus. Okay, clear? So now again, if the spacing is h, understood? Now again, now this explanation will not suit. A boy who is better than the first boy, he should decrease his potential to get first. No. So what is that? 1 plus is tending towards 1 from the right hand side, right? So if the gap is h, so if 1 plus is getting closer to 1, so this gap is getting smaller and smaller. So this gap is basically tending towards 0. So what can I write? Limit h tends to 0, right? Now you will be saying, sir, in place of x, I am writing h. So what will happen to all those x? So the x will be replaced by 1 plus because I am writing the right hand limit, and 1 plus will be replaced by what? It will be replaced by, this gap is h, this is 1, it will be 1 plus h. Okay, so wherever there is x, we have to write 1 plus, or else we have to write 1 plus h. Okay, so let us write that thing. So 1 minus 1 plus h, 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus h, cos of 1 divided by 1 minus 1 plus h divided by modulus of 1 minus 1 plus h. I hope everyone is clear about this one. Now, the same way, let us remove those brackets. So what do we have? Limit h tends to 0, 1 minus 1 plus h. Now look at here. Let me do it fast. We have not so much time. So let us do it fast. So 1 minus 1 goes out. Now, so there is only h in there. Now listen very carefully. It is minus h in there. Okay, so minus h. So what do we have? 1 plus mod of minus h, right? Then we have divided by, again the same thing. Nobody has so much time, right? Obviously, we always try to do maths in less time as possible, okay? In order to solve a mathematical question, there are so many ways, but we always choose that way which take less amount of time. And competitive exams, so like, yes, the lesser it is, the better it is. Okay, clear? So how much is that? So 1 minus 1, 0, minus h, again mod of minus h, and let's not forget about this one. So that is what? Cos of 1 minus 1 goes away, so it is 1 by minus h. Okay, clear everyone? Now look at here how much we are getting. I hope everybody knows mod of minus h. I already told you guys one thing. What does modulus function do? It makes everything positive, right? So what will it do? It will eat up this minus sign and it will bring out h. Okay, so what it will do? So we have limit h tends to 0, 1 minus 1 plus h, and this becomes what? 1 plus h again. 1 plus h divided by h, and this one will be, acha, now one thing I have to ask you guys, what is cos of minus x? What is cos of minus x? Cos of minus x is cos x, right? So this becomes cos of 1 by h. Am I clear? Understood up till here? Now here you see it is 1 plus h into 1 plus h, right? So let us expand that one. Let us expand that one. So what we have in here, limit h tends to 0, so 1 minus, it's 1 plus h whole square, right? And what is 1 plus h whole square? It is 1 square plus 2h plus h square, that is 1 plus h whole square, divided by h, cos of 1 by h. I hope everybody knows this thing. Now again, you see 1 and 1 gets out, right? So what do you get? So limit h tends to 0, minus 2h minus h square divided by h, and this one is cos 1 by h, right? Now from here, can I take h common? Can I take h common from here and cut with the denominator? Acha, let me do step by step. So what I have, limit h tends to 0. So if I take minus h common, I'm taking minus h common from here. So what do we have? 2 plus h. Okay, and divided by h, and that is cos 1 by h. I hope everyone is clear about that. Now let us cut this one, h and h, right? So what do you get? Now listen very carefully. So what do we see in here? We are getting limit h tends to 0. This one is what? Minus 2 minus h cos of 1 by h, right? Understood? So let us separate them. So what I get? Limit h tends to 0, minus 2 cos 1 by h minus of limit h tends to 0 h cos 1 by h, right? And one thing, this one we have already found out, the value of this one is 0, so this one goes away. So what we have, limit h tends to 0 minus 2 cos 1 by h. Now the main question is, what is the value of this thing? Okay, now in order to find the value of this thing, what you see is here, if I put 0 in here, it becomes 1 by 0, right? And cos 1 by 0 is what? Achha, 1 by 0 is what? Just tell me that thing. Cos of 1 by 0, forget about it. 1 by 0 is what? It's undefined, right? Or it's say infinity, right? Now, do you know infinity? Nobody in this whole world knows infinity, right? It changes every single time. Because infinity plus 1, infinity. Infinity plus 1000, infinity, right? So I don't know exactly what is infinity. So if I don't know infinity, then how can I know cos of infinity, right? Understood? If I don't know something, then how can I know cos of that thing? Clear? So basically cos is what? It's a trigonometric function, right? And in trigonometric function, there are 4 quadrants. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant, right? Understood? And the cos values, achha, what is the range of cos? It's not coming in my head, it's coming in your head. The range of cos is what? Minus 1 to 1, right? Why? Because cos 0 is what? 1. Cos 90 is 0. Cos 180 is minus 1. And cos 270 is 0, right? So the value of cos lies between minus 1 to 1, right? So when it's undefined, 1 by 0 is undefined. It means what? Cos of 1 by 0, I don't know. So what happens is that the value of cos infinity will oscillate. Will oscillate in where? Will oscillate between minus 1 to 1. So it will keep on changing. It will become 0. It will become 1 by root 2. It will become root 3 by 2. So it will change. Okay, it will not be fixed. So it will oscillate between minus 1 to 1. So it is not fixed. So what happens? We cannot determine the exact value of the limit. And when we can't determine the exact value, we can say that the limit does not clear. So this one. So my option A and D is the correct options. Okay, so limits is over. Now let's move on to continuity, right? So continuity, now what is that? Now have you heard of the word continuous? What do you mean by continuous? So something, a process which is keep on going, right? Continuous means what? It's just going, it's just happening and all. It's like that. Suppose I say continuity, I say a function is continuous. What do you mean by that? Now if I try to draw a function, okay, a straight line, if I draw a graph of a straight line, that is also a function, right? Now, I'm not favored to straight lines. I draw functions like this, a wavy function. Okay, this is my function. I love to draw like that. Okay, so now, continuous means what? Continuous basically means, when I draw this function, I don't lift my pen. There is no break in that function. It is going on and on and on like that. That's what continuous function, and from there the definition of continuity comes. Okay, so now here I will be discussing the continuity of a function at a point C. Just like limits, let us take a point. Let there be a point C where C is an element of R, right? So I'm taking a point. So in this function fx, I have a function, I take a point C. So here is my point C. Okay. Now, when I get C, I will draw a vertical line. And when I draw a vertical line, it touches the function at this point, right? And this point is nothing but f of C. If I have point 1, from 1 I draw a vertical line. The point it will cut, the function will be f of 1. It will be like that. Okay. So for every corresponding value of x, there is a value of fx. Clear? So what do we have in here? So I have to check what? Whether the function is continuous at the point C or not, right? So how can I check is that this point C, I will draw, it is same thing as limit. I will draw C minus, left hand side of C. Then the same thing, I will draw C plus that lies on the right hand side of C, right? So for a function to be continuous at a point C, what needs to be satisfied? What condition needs to be satisfied? The first one is that the left hand limit must be equal to the right hand limit. And when does left hand limit equal to right hand limit? When what we can say that the limit exists at point C, and that is not it. We have to do another thing. The another thing, I need to have the value of FC at that point C, right? So when all these three values converge at one point, when left hand limit, right hand limit and the value of the function at that point C converge at one point, then we can say that the function is continuous at x equal to C. Am I clear? So what is the condition for a function to be continuous at C? LHL equal to RHL is equal to f of C. So that's the most important condition for a function to be continuous at a point C. Okay, clear? So now let's discuss a problem related to this one. Okay, so let's start with the discussion of this question, which is related to continuity. Okay, so here the question says, I hope everyone is very much aware of this symbol, that this is third brackets are given, and within the third brackets there is an x. So this basically means the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Okay, so then at which of the following points the function fx, where fx is given by x cos of this thing, is discontinuous. So we have to check those points at which the function is discontinuous. Am I clear? So what is common? Can you tell me what is common between all these 4 points? They are what? They're integers, right? All are their integers, right? So what I will do is I will check whether the function is continuous at integers, at integral points or not. Okay, so what I will do? Obviously, I will not go on checking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will take a general one. Let us say k. K be an integral point which represents every single point on the number line. Every single integral point. Just like Narendra Modi. He is the Prime Minister of India, right? He kind of like represent every single person in India in a foreign land, right? So whatever he says, it's like India is speaking. It's like that. So the point k representing each and every point on the number line. Am I clear? So let us do that thing. So let us assume one integral point. So let there be an integral point k, or you can write let there be a point k, and in comma you can write k is an element of z, right? So now for this one, what I will do, the same thing I told you. What, for a function to be continuous at a point, I need to find LHL, I need to find RHL, and I need to find what? The value of the function at that point k, right? And when these three are equal, then only the function is continuous. Understood? So let us find. So let us find for LHL. What will be LHL equal to? LHL is equal to limit x tends to, now how many remember this thing? Nobody. I can guarantee. The point is k. We are doing left hand limit. So x tends to k minus it will be, right? So limit x tends to k minus f of x, right? And f of x is what? This thing. So I will directly write this thing in here. So what I get? Limit x tends to k minus x cos of pi x plus x. That's it. Finished. After this, the most important part comes. What is that? I think I don't know. Huh? Let's try it. You see, what is the approximate value of k minus? I already told you the approximate value of k minus is k. So just in place of x, let's put k cos pi, again approximate value of k minus is k, so in place of x I will write k. But there is a problem. This x is not all alone like this one, right? He has some barrier between them. So he has something, it's like he's in jail. So in order to come out of it, you have to do something. We cannot put the approximate value of k in there. Okay, so what we'll do? So what you will do, just let's move on from this question and discuss the concept of greatest integer function. Now, what is greatest integer function? The definition of it is what? The greatest integer function is the greatest integer less than or equal to x. It means what? Suppose I have 5.6. So the greatest integer which is less than 5.6 or equal to 5.6. So what is an integer which is less than 5.6? It is 5. So the value of this one will be 5. Understood? Now tell me another thing. What is the value of minus 2? Minus 2.1. What will be this thing? What is the greatest integer that is less than minus 2.1? Is it minus 2? Most of you will say minus 2. That's wrong, because minus 2 is more than minus 2.1. The answer will be minus 3. Am I clear? Understood? Now, this one to like I know. Now I have a question. Can anybody tell me what is 5 minus is equal to? What is the greatest integer function of 5 minus? I told you what? 5 minus means what? 5 minus is a number which is less than 5. So that is basically what? 4.99999 like that. And that is equal to what? 4. Right? So basically what I see, 5, the greatest integer function of 5 minus is 4. The same way, greatest integer function of 6 minus is 5. The greatest integer function of 7 minus is 6. How we are getting it? How we are getting 5? 6 minus 1. The greatest integer function of 42 minus will be what? It will be 42 minus 1. Right? I am getting it like this. So what will be the, now if I put k minus in place of x, what will be the greatest integer function of k minus? What will be the greatest integer function of k minus? It will be k minus 1, just like you see in there. Okay, so we got plus k minus 1. Clear everyone? So let us simplify. So this is what we have. So k cos, so this one will be pi, and we have 2k minus 1. So this is the value we got, right? So this is the left hand limit value. Now let us find the value of the right hand limit. Now we will be finding the right hand limit. So left hand limit, the value of this thing. Okay, don't worry about this one. This is too big, I know, but I don't care. The limit went away, it means that's the value. Okay, so don't try to get, okay sir, I need to get a number. Don't hesitate like that. First of all, the point was a number, the point was a k, right? Obviously the answer will be in k, so don't get confused. Now what will be right hand limit? RHL will be what? RHL is equal to limit x tends to, the point was k, so it will be k plus, right? Fx, again what is fx? Limit x tends to k plus, fx is what? This thing. So what we have? X cos of pi x plus, simple as that, right? Now what we do? Again the same thing. What is the approximate value of k plus? It is k, right? So in place of x, without thinking anything, just put k. K cos of pi, in place of x, put k. Now again this thing came. Again the jail, right? So how can I take it out? Now listen very, very carefully. Now I think everybody is well aware of greatest integer function. Now 5 plus, what is the greatest integer function of 5 plus? What is 5 plus? 5 plus is 5.00001. What is the value? It is equal to 5. The integer which is less than that one. So in the same way, k plus, what is this thing? It will be k, right? Understood? So what I get? K. So that is equal to what? K into cos pi, and this is 2k. So that means 2k. Can you see anything that I can see? Achha, let me, for formality, Only we can see one thing, that left hand limit value and the right hand limit value are not equal, right? So directly we can say that the function is not continuous at integral points, right? Yes or no? But for formality, let us do one thing. Let us find, we have to find the third thing, right? And the third thing is what? The value of the function at the point k. So f of k. F of k is equal to what? Fx is this thing. So f of k is what? Wherever there is x, I will write k. So k cos pi k plus. Achha, can anybody tell me what is this thing equal to? Now I told you what? K is an integer, right? So greatest integer will do nothing for an integer. Just like mod. What does mod do? Mod makes everything negative, positive, right? I'm sorry, it's not, it doesn't take anything negative. Sorry, I'm not teaching you opposite mathematics. Okay, it makes everything positive, right? Modulus function. In the same way, so when you put a positive number inside mod, what it does? It will take rest, right? He will say, okay, I have nothing, no work to do. Since it's a positive number, it will give out a positive number. Now, if the number is already an integer, the greatest integer function will also take rest. So he will do nothing, he will just put 5 in there. Okay, so here it will be k. So what I get? K plus k as 2k. So k cos, we get pi into 2k. Now one thing what you see is that now after this, for my formality is over. Left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, and that's proven. So what we can see is that the function, what we can prove is that the function is not continuous at all integral points, right? Not continuous, not continuous, not continuous. But 0 is also an integral point. Let us try with 0 for checking it. Let us try with 0. Let us put 0 in the function and see what you get. For left hand limit, let's put 0 in place of k. 0 is an integer, I know. Now this thing which we prove, it proves that integral, all integral points, the function is discontinuous, right? Now let us check for 0. In place of k, now put 0. If you put 0 into this thing, 0, 0 into this thing, 0, 0 into this thing, 0. What we can say? 0, 0, 0. So what do you get? That these three values converge at the value 0 when x is equal to 0. So the function is continuous at the point x equal to 0. Understood? So just because I say the function is not continuous at integral points, it doesn't mean that it is not also not continuous for x equal to 0, right? So we have already proved that it's continuous for 0. Is that the correct answer? Most of 0 is the correct answer. No, they have said at which point it discontinuous. You see, the same mistake you will do. So this is not my correct answer. My correct answer is A, C, D. Understood? So guys, after finishing this class, so if you have any doubts, please try to leave that in the comment box. And one thing, do subscribe in this channel to get more and more classes like this. Okay? The more you motivate me, and I will also try to pass on that motivation to you.